Okay, everybody, this is assignment number 2. It's called the forces worksheet. Is it a balanced or unbalanced force? First of all, put your name at the top. Put the period, which is either M2, M3, or M4. Okay, and then let's read through the directions real quick. So it says you're going to look at the diagram, and if it's balanced force, you're going to write balanced. If it's unbalanced, you're going to write unbalanced. Okay, it says do not calculate the net force. I want you to actually do that. We're going to do that along with me, so just scratch this part real quick. Okay, if you do not do what I do on this paper, you will not receive credit for it. So please make sure that you are calculating that force. Okay, that'll help you determine if these are balanced or unbalanced. That's why I want you to do it. Okay, all right. So here's what we do. Remember, I told you that if it is balanced, that means there is no movement. And I want you to write that right here. If it is unbalanced, and you can just use a U, it means there is movement. Okay. All right, so let's go through it real quick. So this figure right here is pushing to the right on the box with 35 newtons, yes? And this figure right here is pushing to the left with 45 newtons. Well, obviously this side is getting more force than this side. And I also told you that if the arrows point in opposite directions, that you need to subtract these two numbers. So just off to the side or in your head, just write or calculate that 45 minus 35 is 10 newtons. Okay. I don't necessarily need you to show your work, but I do need you to tell me how many newtons are left over, if there are, and I want you to circle it. Okay? So there are 10 more newtons going to the right than there are the left. Okay? So what that means is that because this figure is pushing harder than that one, the box will go to the left. I don't need you to tell me what direction it's going. I just need you to tell me that if it's moving or not. And so if it is, just write moving. Or movement. Okay? Let's do number 2 together because this one's slightly different. So notice that in this figure we had, or in this illustration, we had two figures pushing or working against each other. Yeah? Here they're working with each other. Yeah, there's nothing pushing back on the box. So all we really need to do is we need to figure out if this one's pushing with 45 newtons and this one's pushing with 35 newtons, how many newtons total are they pushing with? You can use a calculator or you can just write it right here. Okay? But I need you to be accurate. So 45 plus 35 is 80 newtons. Make sure you put the N or I'm not counting it. Okay? And then circle it for me. So since there's nothing pushing against the box and they're moving the box that way, it is going to be unbalanced. And you can just tell me moving. Sorry, I don't have an eraser on this pencil, but I do on this one. All right, so there's number 1 and number 2. Let's slide down to number 4 real quick because this one involves a little more math. All right, so the first thing I would do is add up how many total newtons these two figures are pushing to the right with. So 52 plus 17 is, if I write it right here, or 52 plus 15 rather, I'm sorry, is equal to 67. Double check my math. 2 and 5 is 7, 5 and 1 is 6. Yep. Okay. So 67 to the right, and 42 plus 25 is 5 and 2 is 7, 67 to the left. So they're both pushing with the same amount of force, but in opposite directions, or they're working against each other. So we're going to subtract. So 67 minus 67 is 0. Yeah. So that's 0 newtons. Alrighty. And so it's balanced. So it's not moving, or you could say no movement. Either one. Okay. Let's go to number 6 real quick. Now we've got a few things we need to add here real quick. So let's condense this all down. Each of these figures are pushing to the right, but with a different amount of force. Well, except these two, but we're going to add them together anyways. So I've got 15 plus 15, which is 30, And 30 plus 25, 15 plus 15 equals 30, plus 25 is equal to 55. So there's 55 newtons going to the right, and there's 55 newtons going to the left. Well, since, again, just like this one, they're working in opposite directions, or they're working against each other, yes, we're going to subtract. So 55 minus 55 obviously is 0 newtons. Just write that off to the side somewhere. I'll write it right here, or in the blank right here. Just find a spot just close to it so that I know. And you know that it's balanced, so it's not moving at all. Okay. I thought there was one more I wanted to do with you. 1, 4, 2, 6. Nope, I think that's it. So now what I want you to do is I want you to try number 3 on your own, number 5 on your own, 7, 8, and 9. You do not need to do 10, so you can cross through that one, or 11. Yeah, and you don't need to draw your own one. I'm really concerned about these 9 right here. Okay, and really, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. Really, the 5 left is what I really need from you. Okay, when you're done, you're going to turn this into the basket. Thanks.